Graduate students and healthcare workers at the Health Science Center call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
In Westwood, more than 100 students rallied to protest an investment company's involvement in the Israel-Hamas war.
And students behind me piling in for tonight's student debate here at Tommy's Place. We're live here with the latest coming right up.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. The Screen Actors Guild finally has a tentative deal with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Hi, I'm Marco Ramirez.
And I'm Hannah Boalhaj. The deal would end one of the longest labor crises in the history of the entertainment industry. The deal, which still needs ratification from the union, apparently addresses all concerns of the actors. This includes pay increases, streaming residual increases, health pensions, and concerns about artificial intelligence. The heads of Disney, Warner Brothers, Netflix, and Universal were all involved in the final negotiations. According to a union statement, the actors' strike that started back in July will officially end at 12:01 tomorrow morning.
Dozens of graduate students and healthcare workers rallied today at the Health Science Center to voice their opinions on the Israel-Hamas war. USC graduate students in health sciences and healthcare workers at LA General Medical Center called for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Protesters marched from Pappas Squad on USC's Health Sciences campus to LA General Medical Center. They read the names of people killed in Gaza.
But what's so threatening about hospitals? Why would a nuclear-armed colonial power deliberately target hospitals and healthcare workers? How can we explain the Israeli bombing of a hospital housing patients and refugees that killed hundreds instantly?
The protesters are also calling for Congress to approve sending more medical and humanitarian aid to Gaza. More than 100 UCLA students rallied against investments involving the Israel-Hamas war. They gathered at noon at the Bruin Plaza.
Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
The students are targeting BlackRock, an American investment management company. The students claim it's the biggest investor in weapons in the world. They want their tuition dollars to go towards students' benefits, specifically Palestinian students.
So we demand that the UC divest from BlackRock in their investment portfolio. They divest from BlackRock and divest from other corporations that are hurting the community and put all those funds back into the community. Support housing, support food, support the well-being of the students like they are supposed to be doing as a UC, as a university.
While BlackRock does invest in firearm companies, Annenberg Media is unable to confirm that it's the biggest in the world. We were also unable to confirm its exact ties to Israel.
Brandeis University has become the first private university to ban its chapter of National Students for Justice in Palestine. This announcement comes a few weeks after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis proposed that public universities ban the activist group. In a statement that was posted online, the university explained this decision, writing, quote, "This decision was made because SJP openly supports Hamas. We did not enter into this decision lightly. We are a university dedicated to ensuring free speech." Fearing their safety, a Brandeis student anonymously commented on the situation. They said, quote, "Waking up to the news that SJP had lost their university recognition just hours before they were to host a public grieving space disgusted me. As a Jewish student, I'm intimately aware of how spiritually important it is to people to be able to mourn and grieve freely." The ban on the SJP chapter at Brandeis removes their university funding, as well as any permits or opportunities to hold on-campus activities.
USC Shabbat, Hillel, and Shoah Foundation came together today at Founders Park. The groups hosted a solidarity event to mourn the lives lost during the October 7th attack on Israel. About 150 students peacefully gathered to pray for the hostages and memorialize victims of violence in Gaza. Students sang hymns, shared testimonies, and listened to speakers. The goal was to showcase pride and unity among Jewish students at USC.
biggest silver lining in all of the dark times we've been through the last month now has been the strength of our student body.
There's a community here for them, and they should stand up for any anti-Semitism or any anti-Zionism they're facing on their campuses.
This is an important opportunity for USC students and faculty to come together to simultaneously heal, share the trauma that they're experiencing, and try to develop opportunities to move forward together so that we can push back against anti-Semitism.
Yesterday marked the 1-month anniversary of the October 7th attack on Israel.
USC's Muslim Student Union is hosting a night of remembrance at 7 p.m. to honor the lives lost in Gaza. It will be an evening of reflection and prayer at the USC Religious Center. The event is open to all students, including non-USC students and non-Muslims. Annenberg Media's Michael Mellinger is live at Tommy Trojan for tonight's debate between Trojan Democrats and the college Republicans. Michael, how are things going over there?
Hannah, thanks so much. The energy here just picking up. Tonight's debate, as you know, coming simultaneously as 5 Republican candidates are debating in Miami, trying to come after former President Trump for that nomination. Though tonight's debate here, student-centered. 4 hot-button topics up for debate tonight, and throughout the day, we spoke with students all day long. Juan Pablo Moreland, a junior here at the University of Southern California, now studying abroad in London, took part in last year's debate.
Kind of fun to kind of think through those issues in a professional setting, and exciting, and like something that I probably won't really ever do again.
Moreland spent the summer interning on Capitol Hill, telling Annenberg Media today just how influential these campus debates can be.
I don't have the issue list in front of me right now, but you know, that's going to decide the future of the country, and you never know if someone on stage might be practicing to end up on stage at a much bigger venue than that.
The slate of topics include abortion, foreign policy, education, and cash bail. Tonight's debate comes as contentious rhetoric fuels the 2024 election, one member of Trojan Democrats encouraging students to listen.
We're never going to reach common ground, reach common solutions if we don't listen to each other.
Ahead of the debate, we spent time in Tommy's Place, where students will have the opportunity to listen tonight. Several hundred students expected to pack in. One organizer telling us this event has been months in the making.
It's definitely been underway for a couple months at least. I think maybe we started planning around September. There's a lot of moving pieces with who debates, the questions we want to ask, kind of staying with the times.
Preparation, though, still coming down to the wire.
Well, I've got my opening statement done. I have my notes. I feel like I've done all the prep that I need to. Honestly, it's just a matter of settling nerves, going over it with my team, seeing how they're doing, what the mood is like, but generally, I'm pretty excited for the next hour.
And look, we spoke with Elizabeth earlier in the day, one of many debaters tonight, all of them looking forward to getting up on that stage. The debate going on here for another about 2 hours or so. Students encouraged. And live here at Tommy's Place for Annenberg Media, I'm Michael Mellinger.
Only 5 candidates qualified to take part in the 3rd Republican debate happening right now in Miami. A debate that once again does not include former President Trump.
I care. I am not going to sit idly by and let this country continue its downward spiral. We need leadership, and we need it now.
I can talk about President Trump. I can tell you that I think he was the right president at the right time. I don't think he's the right president now.
Trump is the front runner with a 56.5% in polling. Florida Governor DeSantis is second with 13.9%, but has dropped significantly over the last few months. That has allowed former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley to gain traction. Haley is currently third in the race with 9%.
The debates are irrelevant without him. We're down to 5. The only possibility is if they get down to one major candidate against Trump. At that point, presumably Haley or our famous governor from Florida would be one of the last 2.
With the 2024 election less than a year away, new polls show how a future matchup between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump might go down. According to a New York Times poll, former President Trump is leading in 5 out of the 6 key battleground states. Trump is ahead in Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia by more than 4 points. President Biden is leading in only one of these important states. That's in Wisconsin by 2 points. Reaction is still coming in after voters in several states went to the polls yesterday. Many believe issues like abortion indicate the direction voters are leaning ahead of the presidential election. In Ohio, a solid red state, voters overwhelmingly agreed to adopt a state constitutional amendment to include the right to an abortion. Last night, about 56% of voters passed the amendment. Ohio also legalized marijuana with 57% of votes. In Virginia, the state's legislature has officially turned blue. Both the Virginia State Senate and House of Delegates have reached the majority threshold to gain control over both chambers of the legislature. This is a blow to the state's Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, who campaigned the legislature vote with an anti-MAGA approach.
The House voted yesterday to censure Democratic Representative Rashida Talib. The vote comes after criticism surrounding Talib's rhetoric on the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas.
I'm the only Palestinian American serving in Congress, Mr. Chair, and my perspective is needed here now more than ever. The idea that criticizing the government of Israel is anti-Semitic sets a very dangerous precedent, and it's being used to silence diverse voices speaking up for human rights across our nation. Do you realize?
The House voted 234 to 188, with 20 Democrats voting in favor of censoring Talib. This marks a deep divide within the Democratic Party.
She is speaking as someone who is the only Palestinian American in U.S. history to serve in this body. Without her voice, we would lack even more empathy for the people of Palestine.
When you're uttering phrases like "from the river to the sea," you're not simply advocating for the creation of a Palestinian state, you're advocating for the destruction of Israel as a Jewish state.
Talib is now the 26th person to be censured by the chamber. She says she will not fall silent during these trying times.
Coming up, graduate students are set to picket tomorrow in a last-ditch effort to get the university to reach an agreement.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signs an executive directive to make housing more affordable.
And find out how USC is celebrating first-generation students. All that and more when we come back.
Let me tell you how we amplify our Latina voices. Check out Dímelo. We have it all.
Deportes.
Entertainment. Noticias. ¿Qué tal? Soy Mariela Gómez y bienvenidos a Dime la Hora.
Radio and podcasting.
Comida y cultura. Digital social media.
¿A qué equipo le vas tú? LA Galaxy o LAFC? Dímelo is the only Latina-focused media outlet at USC. Dímelo. We have it all.
Dímelo. We have it all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. And now grow a whole collection of fun with Chia teddy bears, puppies, kittens, rams, bulls. There's even a chia tree to keep your pets company. Chia Pets and Trees, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet and Chia Tree are available at Kmart, Rite Aid, Ames, and Woolworth. Makes a great gift.
Last month, USC grad students authorized the Graduate Student Workers Bargaining Team to call for a strike at any time. The grad students are not currently on strike, but may strike tomorrow if there is no agreement. Grad students want their needs met. They are asking for more pay, better benefits, and a protected work environment. GSW issued a statement yesterday that says USC has not been bargaining in good faith and that the union is, quote, prepared to do what it takes to win the contract, end quote. The dean of the graduate school says the picket should have little impact towards the progress they are continuing to make during negotiations.
Tomorrow is not a strike, it's a demonstration. So the union are, exercising their rights to, to draw attention to the proposals that they're making. That's absolutely fine. We have a bargaining session scheduled for Monday and another in November, and we're later in November, and we're already looking at dates in December. So we'll continue to bargain. It doesn't change anything.
Dean Stott says more than half of the tentative agreements have already been reached and will be included in the final contract.
First-generation college students are being celebrated this week. Today, USC hosted a first-gen day for students whose parents didn't go to college. Students took part in an interactive event. They were given cards to write messages of affirmation to then post onto a large banner. There were stalls with fun activities as well as a special performance by the Trojan marching band.
Over the last couple of years, the incoming class of Trojans has been over 25% first gen. So I think it's really important that those students come here and see that there are other first gen students, first gen staff and faculty and administrators here supporting and celebrating them.
Being a first generation student for me, even in my undergrad and now here, it's just being the first in your family and setting up that path for the future generations of my family. Breaking down barriers, entering spaces that weren't built for people like us, and it's something that I wear on my sleeve.
Up next on the First Gen Week agenda is an exhibit honoring the art by First Gen student artists. It will be called the People's Art Show.
I hear all over the city, what are we going to do to make housing more affordable?
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signed a bill to decrease rent for Angelenos this morning. The bill aims to make it easier for developers to cut through the red tape and build more affordable housing. The new law encouraging more development takes effect immediately. Mayor Bass wants to cut the time it takes to obtain building permits and make it easier to convert existing buildings into Los Angeles into housing complexes. She's also looking to make home ownership easier.
But people who are housed or who are graduating college and want to live in the town they grew up in are consistently priced out.
This executive directive employs a multifaceted approach to both streamline and accelerate the production of housing, especially for projects that provide affordable units.
Mayor Bass says this law and her other homelessness measures should help the housing crisis in the city.
Large parts of Southern California are under a red flag alert. That means high threat of fires. The threat areas stretch from the Santa Monica Mountains to the San Fernando and the San Gabriel valleys. We spoke to a meteorologist about how these winds may affect the ongoing fire.
If you follow the Ready, Set, Go plan, your ready part should take place in the spring months. At this point, you're waiting for that set, and that's where this is where we're entering that phase. Is you're just waiting for the information to flow in. You know that you have to be ready to evacuate, especially if you live in a wildfire-prone area.
There are 8 to 10 million people living in the red flag zone. While the Santa Ana winds are striking up to 55 miles per hour, parts of Southern California are on a wind advisory effect. However, let's see what it looks like here in Trojan land. If you're stepping outside right now, the current conditions are 76 degrees, and that humidity, it keeps on dropping down. Looking at the 5-day weather forecast, you can see that on Thursday, tomorrow, it's going to be nice and sunny, high 78 degrees, low 50s, staying pretty consistent with these temperatures moving throughout the week, staying low 80s, right up into the 70s. Moving Sunday is going to be very, very hot. Next week, there may be actual rain in the forecast, but that'll be for next week. So Trojans, if you are outside, enjoy the 3-day weekend this weekend, but more importantly, take some time for Veterans Day to acknowledge and recognize those people that have sacrificed so much for you and this country. Thomas, I'm dying to know, what is the drama that's happening on the football field?
Well, Erica, Alex Grinch is gone. Hear how Alex and I feel about the in-season move. And women's basketball's home opener is offering fans a blast from the past. And it's time for a water polo crosstown showdown with serious playoff implications. All that and more next on ATVN Sports.
Bonjour, je suis le grand musicien. Je suis la jeune fille.
Yes, that's French they're speaking. And no, these children aren't French. They're American. And they've acquired their amazing new language skills from Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children developed by the British Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique BBC language course, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly become their favorite TV show and teaches children the same way they learned English. Learning another language becomes fun. You'll be amazed when your children begin speaking and understanding their new language from the very first day through this unique method. The entire course, 4 videos, 2 audio cassettes, the activity book, and the Parent's Guide and Answer book is available in French, Spanish, Italian, or German.
To order, use your credit card and call this number. We'll ship and charge you $28.08 a month for 6 months. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call 1-800-424-0700.
Okay, this stuff is really amazing. I mean, I put it in my mouth and I taste watermelon, but it's not just that. I taste strawberry too, but it's kind of like a watermelon-y strawberry put together. Hey, hang on. Sorry about that. And the bubbles are really awesome. I mean, that's why they call it Max, I guess. Obviously, that sort of makes sense once you think about it. Oh, I'm Dan, and that's Chuck. Hubba Max. A whole new kind of bubble.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. The Grinch is gone. I'm Alex Bedkin.
And I'm Thomas Johnson. Let's jump into it. USC football is heading into their matchup with the Oregon Ducks without a full-time defensive coordinator. The Trojans will face off against the #1 scoring offense in the country when they take on the Ducks on Saturday, all while sporting a defense that ranks 124th in the country. Lincoln Riley finally pulled the plug and fired defensive coordinator Alex Grinch on Sunday, leaving Sean Nua and Brian Odom in charge of the defense for the last 2 games of the season. Hear from Nua about his strategy heading into the weekend.
I was just trying to rally these guys, make sure that their mindset is right, and making sure that whatever we try to change, or if we do change anything, that it's in sync and don't disrupt them and cause them to hesitate. So that's the challenge, is get them together, rally them, both staff and the players, and we'll see what they come out kind of energy.
So Alex, with 2 interim defensive coordinators, are we really going to see much of a difference this weekend?
I don't think so. I don't think that the defense has enough time to prepare for it, and I don't think the coach has enough time to implement a new system. I think it's just going to be same old, same old.
Well, Alex, I think the USC defense has given up 34 or more points in 6 straight weeks. It literally cannot get any worse. So I think it will be a little bit different just because it can't get any worse. But the Trojans will face the Ducks at Autzen Stadium this Saturday with kickoff scheduled for 7:30 p.m.
From the gridiron over to the court, the 21st ranked USC women's basketball team is looking forward to its home opener after a massive upset win against the #7 Ohio State Buckeyes. The Trojans are headed home from the Hall of Fame series in Las Vegas to face Florida Gulf Coast at home this Friday. The Trojans looked great in their season opener, especially superstar freshman guard Juju Watkins, who had 32 points in her USC debut. Friday's game will not only feature our current Trojan players, but also our past Trojan legends. The 1983-84 championship team will be honored at halftime of Friday's home opener. The 1983-84 team defeated the Tennessee Lady Vols to capture its 2nd straight national title. This year's Lady Trojans are off to a hot start and hope to continue their winning ways as they return to the Galen Center. Although the season is very young, the Trojans have all the talent to make a deep postseason run.
Men's water polo is nearing the end of its season as the Trojans prepare for the Crosstown Showdown. Heading into the final weekend of regular season play, the Trojans sit at 4th in the MPSF West Division with a 1-4 conference record. The Trojans can move up in the standings depending on the results of this weekend, but that will only affect seeding at the MPSF tournament. USC is coming off an upset 10-6 win over the Stanford Cardinal, with 2 Trojans taking home MPSF weekly awards. But the Bruins are a different beast, winning all of their 22 games this year. UCLA has already beaten the Trojans twice this season, including an 11-2 blowout in the last matchup. The Trojans will look to complete the upset this weekend as they take on the Bruins at Utangsu Aquatic Center this Saturday at 1 p.m.
Now it's time for our Wednesday Wows, where Thomas and I try to make you say, wow. For my Wednesday Wow, I believe that USC basketball's freshman phenom Isaiah Collier will go in the top 5 of this year's upcoming NBA draft. In his USC debut, Collier had 18 points on 7 for 9 shooting, as well as 6 assists and 3 rebounds against a talented Kansas State team. Collier wowed with his ability to get any shot he wanted no matter who guarded him. If he could cut down on turnovers and fouls, he could very well be the #1 pick.
My Wednesday wow is a little bit out there, but I think USC's defense will have its best performance of the season and hold Oregon below 30 points. The Trojans have little to lose after firing their defensive coordinator and are going back to a much simpler system. The Oregon offense is electric, but USC is coming in with an underdog mentality. Tune in next week to see if our wows became reality. That's all the time we have for sports today. I'm Thomas Johnson.
And I'm Alex Bedkin. Over to Marco for more.
Have you heard SpongeBob sing You Belong With Me? We take a deep dive into AI-generated song covers in tonight's reality check after the break.
Let me tell you how we amplify our Latina voices. Check out Dímelo. We have it all.
Deportes.
Entertainment. Noticias. ¿Qué tal? Soy Mariela Gómez y bienvenidos a Dime la Hora.
Radio and Podcasting.
Comida y cultura. Digital social media.
¿A qué equipo le vas tú? LA Galaxy o LAFC? Dímelo is the only Latina-focused media outlet at USC. Dímelo. We have it all.
Dímelo. We have it all.
Want quality name brand carpet for less?
Call Empire and you can get quality carpet at the lowest price guaranteed. And no payments for 1 year.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
I've replaced your shoelaces with fruit by the foot.
So you did. I replaced your fingers with fruit by the foot.
Bravo. I've replaced your bones with fruit by the foot.
Indeed you have. I replaced your guitar strings with fruit by the foot.
Seems like a step backwards, but alright. I've replaced your DNA with fruit by the foot. That would be end game, my friend.
Fruit by the foot. Fruit-flavored snack.
Now, he's probably buying her some fruity little drink 'cause she can't shoot a West date. Right now, he's probably a Bahama with a glue stick showing her.
Your ears aren't deceiving you. You are hearing SpongeBob character Sandy Cheeks sing Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. This is one of many new AI-generated songs. Welcome back to Reality Check, where we check if deepfakes, tweets, or videos pass the reality check. Reality Check. AI covers our popular songs have been popping up all over social media, from versions sung by cartoon characters to making original music generated by AI. A music professor and musician talked about how this might affect the industry.
In the context of music, there are a lot of ethical ways that you could use AI to help you come up with ideas, to help you generate possible beats to use on a song or other, not primarily copyrightable elements of the music. There isn't really copyright protection surrounding somebody's voice, but there are right of publicity protections, which is a type of right that you have over your name, image, likeness, voice, signature.
I think that one of the most beautiful parts of music is the human aspect and the collaborative aspect of creating something musical. So using AI just kind of takes away that inherent human part of what music is.
AI could be the future of music, helping artists in many different ways, while leading the new industry down a new path. Some, however, aren't quite convinced that AI's pros outweigh the cons. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Marco Ramirez.
And I'm Hannah Walhodge. For more coverage, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.